I'm Theo.
And I'm Juliet.
And this is Apologies Accepted.
We offer an entertaining look at some of the big issues in history by examining public apologies of the famous and infamous.
We're looking at politicians, serial killers, actors, and you.
Send us a public apology you would like to make, and we'll read it on the air and give you a chance to redeem yourself or just get some guilt off your shoulders.
We're here for you. Once a week, maybe more if you're really, really sorry.
This is Apologies Accepted, the podcast. And I'm not Theo this week.
And I'm not Juliet this week, which makes me sad.
Oh, don't be too sad. You're Theo, which is
it's almost as good.
The biggest honorable prize or whatever you can possibly have.
Okay, so, my consolation prize.
So let's get right to the bacon. What's shaking, bacon?
I have been I don't even know. So Little Prairie, so Farmer John, so Martha Stewart, so house-oriented. It is ridiculous. So I bragged last week about how I did not electrocute myself when I changed out ceiling lights. Yay! And put in Wi-Fi wall switches. Yay! And I put in a new door lock. Yay! And every time I don't have to call somebody and pay them to do a thing, like replace a deadbolt. I'm like,
totally.
I just saved $7,000. That's great for me.
So that's more money to spend at the outlet.
It's more money to spend at the outlet. It's more money to spend on my new addiction, which apparently is herbs. So, buying a lot of plants for container gardens. It is spring. It is beautiful. And so, and part of my improving things around the house and fixing stuff up, right? Mm-hmm. I had to get some zip ties to hang a tarp on this chain link fence. So the short version of this long story is that our dog barks at our neighbors when they're in their backyard because it's chain link fence and he can see them. Right. So I had this great idea. What if I hung a sheet over it? No, that wouldn't look good. Okay. And so I found tarps, right? Awesome. Yeah. You can hang them up. And all I needed were zip ties. So I went to Home Depot, and I was walking down all these aisles, and I was like, I can't find zip ties. And I realized in the axe aisle, right?
In the axe aisle?
The aisle where all the axes are?
Yeah.
Right? That, like, I cannot ask for zip ties standing in the axe aisle because I look like a serial killer. And now I feel like I am a serial killer. And so I have to leave now.
And did you have tarps too? Are you holding tarps and asking for zip ties in the axe aisle?
No. But I did find them on Amazon.
Good.
Which was great. So now I know where serial killers are shopping. It's Amazon, totally. Right?
You know they're not going out to the store.
Yeah, apparently not, because it's very embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's very embarrassing to ask for zip ties. So whatever, I spent a lot of time getting the stupid tarp up and in place. It didn't work.
Oh.
It turns out it's not the visual, it's the auditory. He can hear them. And so that's what he's barking at. Yeah. And so I have to figure something else out. And then what else? Beautiful weather. Nice. It is insanely gorgeous. I this morning had one of those rare moments in Austin and a once a month occurrence in LA where I would walk outside to my car and I would there'd be a scent in the air that was beautiful. And I would look overhead and the sky was like my favorite shade of blue. Right. And it would just be this moment of like, thank God I live here. I love it. What a gorgeous day. And it would be that way like all day, right?
Oh, nice.
Doesn't happen a lot in Austin, but today is that day. So beautiful. It's a gorgeous day. I'll leave it at that. What's shaking bacon on your plate?
I need a new chair.
Oh, yes, you do.
I need a new chair. I lent my podcasting chair to Brent when his chair broke, and he returned it to me broken. I'm not saying that he broke my chair, but it's broken now.
Just a thing that happened.
It just happened somehow, and just coincidental, I'm sure. So I need a new chair, and there's a chair that I want that's $600, but I'm not sure I can justify the expenditure of $600. On the other hand, I thought that I wanted an Eames chair, which is $7,000, but I've decided now I can't justify the expenditure of an Eames chair. I could get a fake one, and nobody will ever come to my house and know that it's a fake.
But so, you will.
I know. That's the thing.
That's the problem. You'll know.
I'll know it's a fake. So I don't know. I just need a new podcasting chair right now, and there's another one that's $120 that I'm thinking about getting, but I don't think I want it. I don't think I really want it, so I might end up spending $600.
Okay, so what you need to do is you need to go to the outlet and buy something and save a lot of money on it, and then that money that you save, you can buy the chair with.
Oh,
so that's how it works
brilliant.
In my mind and in my life. Yes.
Okay.
It is. It is great way. It's a great way to get what you want. Okay, but all right. So the $120 chair, right?
Yeah.
The $600 chair that you want, that's a $480 difference, right?
Yes. Yes.
Do you think there's a world where one day you look at your $600 chair and you say, oh, I shouldn't have spent the money on that chair? Or every time you look at it, you will be filled with joy?
I think I'd be filled with joy.
Okay, I think this is a solution that's writing itself as we speak.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have a birthday coming
Don't mind that
up.
I'm only working part-time right now or anything like that. I do have a birthday coming up. That's a good point.
Yes.
And I did ask for an Eames chair, so I should just say, instead of the Eames chair, let me save you 1,000%.
Save you $6,400, which you can give to me in like gift receipts or gift cards. Right. So what you do is just ask for some gifts. Hey, fans, I know you all love to send me gifts for my birthday. Rather than a thing, would you just send me a Visa check card or,
yes, please.
Or I don't know, a gift card to whatever the store is.
$640, including tax.
Like
whatever.
Enough gift receipts, and all of a sudden that chair is basically $1 to you.
It was free. So yeah, so that's one thing that's going on. That's one piece of bacon. And another piece of bacon is that I'm going to New Mexico in 2 weeks. I think I mentioned that last time, not sure. Going to New Mexico for a week and then going to Arizona until I get tired of it, which is probably going to be a week. So
sorry, Arizona, you're only good for a week.
So my cousin is all excited about redoing the landscaping in the Arizona place. So she wants to, when I'm out in New Mexico where she lives, she wants to talk about redoing the landscaping in Arizona, which I'm not 100% into right now. And my mother does want to keep it simple, so I at least have that as an excuse. But I would like to replace the citrus trees in Arizona because they're sort of at the end of their lifespan now, and they're looking kind of sad. So I'd like to put some saguaros in there.
What?
Saguaro?
Yeah.
Those cactuses, that when you think of a cactus, that's what the kind of cactus you think of. It's standing up with its arms up. That's a saguaro cactus.
Oh, the ones that look like they're in a robbery?
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's just two stumps that go up and then the head. Okay, all right.
The famous cactus.
Over citrus trees? You'd rather have...
The citrus trees are dying. They're basically dead.
I know, but get new citrus trees.
Do you know how much work it is to keep a citrus tree alive in the desert?
No.
It's crazy.
Well,
It's crazy. So there should never have been citrus trees there in the first place, in my opinion. But my father planted them there because he likes citrus trees, and he was able to, he hired someone to come and water it every other day or whatever. And I'm still doing that, but I would really rather just not have that concern over my shoulders or head or whatever.
I think that's an excellent way to justify getting that chair, right? So you no longer have that expense at that house.
I think I would still have the expense, though, because there's other plants that need to be watered as well, just not as frequently. So I would save some money, but probably not enough to...
Have you considered spray-painted rocks?
Yes.
Well, speaking of such things as, I don't know.
Spray-painted rocks.
Yeah, spray-painted rocks.
Yeah, a video went viral recently of a guy who started a church. He just started a church, as you do, called it the Bible Baptist Tabernacle. It's in Monroe, North Carolina, which is about half an hour south of Charlotte. You've all probably flown through Charlotte at some point if you're in the U.S. He started the church 40 years ago, and his name is Bobby Leonard. And he said last summer in this video that went viral recently that women are at fault for their sexual assault. He said, I told my wife, Mama, when we go to Pigeon Forge, to the outlet mall here and sit in the parking lot, you'll find more women going to have shorts on than pants and dresses put together. He said during his sermon in August 2023, if you dress like that and you get raped and I'm on the jury, he's going to go free. Because you know a man is a man. A man is a man. And you don't like that, do you? I'm right, though. I can't help you that I'm right because a man's a man. So, my terrible Southern accent aside.
Oh, no. I actually was like, where'd Juliet go? What's this preacher doing? Talking.
That video has caused some former members, actually, to protest in front of the church. Wadesboro resident Jason King led a protest outside the church during its service on Wednesday night. That's last Wednesday, February 21st. King posted a video on Facebook of the protest and actually planned a second protest that was supposed to happen at 9:30 this morning. I don't know if it did or not. This Sunday, today. He said, you can't stand behind a pulpit and teach the word of God and claim that you believe it's okay for people to go around raping people for what they wear. We got signs made up out here that say, repent, turn back to God, and Matthew 7:15-16, he said in the video. And I looked at Matthew 7:15-16, and it says, watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves. By their fruit you will recognize them. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? King went on to say, a false prophet. How do you know a false prophet? You tell them by their fruits. We are fruit inspectors. And I'm telling you, what he said behind the pulpit was not good fruits. It was very unsettling. And as a man behind the pulpit, it brings a reproach on God. And we're out here tonight hoping that Bobby Leonard will repent.
I love that we're fruit inspectors.
Isn't that great?
That's the best line of all time. We're fruit inspectors. You're fruity, and you're fruity.
Your fruit stinks. Christian journalist Julie Roys wrote, yes, a man is a man, not an animal. And he is responsible for controlling himself.
Thank you. Wow.
This pastor needs to resign. So, yeah, it seems like a lot of the people protesting were protesting on behalf of women. But what about all the people protesting on behalf of men who are like, men are not rapists. I mean, men are not naturally rapists. You would think. I mean, not being a man, I don't know. But the guy is saying the man is a man. You know, a man's just going to, if he sees a woman in shorts, well, he's just going to rape her. Where are all the people mad about that?
We're really busy organizing, but we're in Home Depot looking for zip ties right now.
So I think the people in Wadesboro or where Monroe need to pick up the
slack. At least there's people out there protesting.
Yes, thank God.
So there is that aspect of this, right? Whether or not
I'm grateful to this.
All the people who should be out there are not, right? Because once upon a time, people just would have been like, "Oh, well, that's not what he meant to say," and they would have gotten a pass because he's a pastor.
Yep. So the news has gone even so far as to get a response from Martina Navratilova, who also criticized Leonard for his sermon, calling the pastor Taliban in Christian clothing and a sick fuck. Go, Martina. On Thursday night, the message on the church sign was an apology, which we'll talk about in a moment. Queen City News visited Bible Baptist Tabernacle on Thursday afternoon to give Leonard a chance to clarify his comments. His staff said he was surprisingly declining all interviews and claimed he would be providing a written statement, but he never did. And Bible Baptist has taken its Facebook page down, surprisingly.
I got so much, and yet at the same time, nothing, because it's all the same thing again and again and again, right? Yeah. It's these people come up and they say something horrid and they let you know what they're really thinking. And they let you know what the real agenda is, right? Yeah. And then other people are like, oh my God, that's horrifying. How terrible. And then protest. And then somebody apologizes. but the agenda remains, and it never goes away.
It never changes. I know, it's terrible. These people are nuts. They're dangerous. They're dangerous.
And for our international listeners, Julia and I are referring to Geminis. Geminis are worst sign. No, totally kidding. We're referring to white Christian nationalists, and it's a movement in the United States. It's really reared its ugly head, and it's been something that...
I think fundamentalists as a whole.
Well, fundamentalists as a whole, but in particular, the people who are active in politics, right, are the people who are proclaiming Christian nationalism, where they want a theocracy. They want Christian Sharia law.
Yeah, they do. That's terrifying. It's
terrifying because they're getting it. They're getting their way. Yep.
That recent ruling about the IVF, the embryos being people, is insane. And hopefully that will go to the Supreme Court and will be decided correctly. But I have no faith that it will.
I do not know what's going to happen when that gets to the Supreme Court.
I know.
I have zero idea, right? There are a number of things that are bubbling up towards the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
That pertain to healthcare around fertility, pregnancy, right?
Yep.
And gay marriage. So Tennessee and another state, I forget which one, it starts with an A, have both said, well, we're not going to issue marriage licenses to gay people. But didn't you try that before? Didn't somebody have to go to jail because she wouldn't do that? And I know that makes her a Christian martyr and all of that. But, and I'm sure all the gay friends that she has totally accept and embrace her. And I have friends that are gay. And so,
they don't want to be married.
This IVF thing. And so here's what happens, right? This is the game plan. I know because they called me and told me last night. Mm-hmm. And it's, you go after the easy pickings, right? Mm-hmm. And then you inch closer and closer to the thing that it is that you really want. So not that abortion was an easy thing for them to pick. They actively had to plan for how do we get justices on the Supreme Court? How do we blah, 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 right? And that's a large part of the reason why these people will willfully ignore everything that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth, because he will appoint the judges they need, right? Yeah. And then once they control the law, so they go after abortion. Now it's IVF, in vitro fertilization. And then it's going to be gay marriage, right? It's another easy pick. And then it's going to be divorce. Goodbye, no-fault divorce. Bye-bye. Yeah. Bye. You can't get divorced, right? And then it's going to be, I don't know what happens after that, but it's not going to stop.
No.
It doesn't stop. And it doesn't stop because these people are afraid. And so if they can control the world so that everybody behaves in a specific way, then the angry invisible man that lives in the sky and throws fire down on people from time to time won't do that, and they won't be troubled. And while I am making light of their beliefs, fears, that's really what it is. They're afraid of dying. And so if they can just simply control everything, then they won't die. Or if that thing happens, then they win the prize of whatever it is they believe, right? And so we look at Christians, but it's a large part of what happens with fundamentalists as a whole who undertake terrorist activities. They're doing it because there's some after reward for them.
Yeah.
Just awful.
Horrifying.
And to illustrate that point, that this is... I think these two stories go hand in hand. So we have the preacher who said that women deserve to be raped if they're wearing shorts because men can't control themselves. Mm-hmm. And, there's a belief that in Christianity that the husband's the head of the house, and therefore
Right.
men are the head of society because that's the house that we live in, right? And so whatever man does, everything's great. So we also have a state senator in Oklahoma, Senator Tom Woods. He is not a U.S. federal senator. He is a state senator, but he is a senator. And at a local community meeting with a couple of other political players from Oklahoma, he said in regards to the death of a non-binary 16-year-old person named Nex Benedict that we don't want that filth in our state.
Oh, right.
Yeah. He said, we are a religious state, and we are going to fight it and keep that filth out of the state of Oklahoma because we are a Christian state. We are a moral state.
Ooh.
You're not a Christian state. That's actually not a part of the Constitution of the United States of America. Sorry, honey, I don't know if you've read it, but you obviously haven't,
not.
right? And it just gets back to this whole point of they now feel comfortable to say what it is that they truly believe.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? This guy believes that our pastor in question who issued his apology believed that women deserve to be raped before inciting the lust of men. Because that's a sin, I'm sure, somehow. Right?
Probably.
And then this guy believes that queer people are filth. Right? Great. And can't wait for his explanation of what he really meant to say.
Yeah.
Like, sweetheart, yeah. And it just occurred to me, what comes after? Once they get rid of divorce, what comes next? Freedom for black people, high slavery. It's always about that. It's all, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I do like to try and get into the heads of our victims, of our weekly stories, right? And in this one, it's easy to get into that head space, right?
Yeah.
Evangelicals believe that they have a mission and a duty to report the good news that there's life after death and Jesus will bring you there, right? And so they've got to proselytize. They've got to go out there and let everybody know there's a way to salvation, right? Because that's what gets you into heaven.
Yeah.
What's happening is the craziest of them are grabbing the headlines. And so the true believers in Christianity are now saying that that these people are hurting evangelicalism. Sorry, I'm Catholic. It's a hard word for me to say. Or I was Catholic. Weird that I say I am. I haven't even driven by a Catholic church in I don't know how long. And so so all of these people who are making all of this fuss and bringing Jesus into the conversation in incorrect ways, and I would point to like Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? They are turning people off from Christianity, is what the true Christians will say, right? And so in this way that we have the Never Trumpers in the Republican Party, there now seems to be some sort of a movement within the evangelical faith of, and I don't know what you would call them, but the I don't know, the Never Boeberts, we'll say that for right now.
Yeah.
Well, but at the same time, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the crazy people have gotten a hold of the steering wheel and they are going to take this car off course to where they want it to go, right? And they want it to go to, I don't know, because I don't know where it ends.
I don't know either. It doesn't end anywhere good, though. It's terrifying.
It doesn't. But at least they're saying the quiet parts out loud now. And at least we know that, like, okay, we're actually not crazy. We're not paranoid. We're not making stuff up, right?
Yeah.
When you say that women deserve to be raped, I'm not making up that you think women deserve to be raped.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe we can confront it better if it's out there.
If we could be identified, not if, it is identified, right? Now, is every Christian nationalist this way? Yes, they are. They just are, period. Full stop, right? Is every Christian that way? No. As I could point to the very nice guy that I listened to this morning on a podcast when he was talking about his concerns around this. And the separation of church and state is probably good for the church as well as the state. That's my lecture. You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm thoroughly depressed.
Oh, well, but heroes such as you and me, we get to
talk about it on our
get
podcast.
those crazy hands off of that steering wheel and take this car down the road of freedom and liberty. I'm going to get an American eagle flying over our head very shortly.
Get a flag.
Yes.
Wave your flag.
We will win because we always win. Because the good guys always win.
Always win.
That's the secret to every story.
With a lot of death lost, a lot of lives lost in the process, but eventually.
Well, do you win right away?
Win.
No. And, those people that did die. Oh, I was going to make a joke. Now I'm sad about people I don't know who died. Oh, no, I'm depressed. Good job, Juliet.
Well, we can look at the apology.
Okay, let's do that.
Take our mind off the depressing parts. So there was an apology, and the apology was on one of those church signs, which anyone in the South will be well familiar with. But I don't know how to describe them to people. They're like big metal signs that have those plastic letters that you can swap out for other plastic letters. It's
a sign that's usually ground level.
Yeah.
It's probably anywhere from 3 to 5 feet high and maybe 4 to 6 feet across, long.
Sure.
Directionally challenged, and I don't know math.
It could be twice that size, but that sounds good to me.
But it's a thing that's on the ground, and it's white, and then the letters on it are black. And
you swap the letters
change out the sign. Yeah, right. Easter's coming, Merry Christmas.
Right.
And then Christmas is capital C, capital H, capital R, capital I, capital S, capital T, and then small MAS.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yes, and this sign at the Bible Baptist Tabernacle Church in Monroe, North Carolina, last week said, and may still say, "I am sorry for any hurt. I was wrong. Pastor Leonard." So, Pastor Leonard apologized. Let's look at our criteria for an apology to see what we think of this particular apology. Was there an expression of regret? Yes. Was there an explanation of what went wrong? No. Except that he was wrong, but not really. No explanation of how he was wrong or why he said what he did. No acknowledgement of responsibility, really. I mean, he did say I was wrong, but he didn't say, I take responsibility for what I said and the impact of what I said, and I won't do it again. He did declare repentance. He did not offer any repair by saying, in the future, I will be sure not to say stupid shit. He did not ask for forgiveness. So I personally think this is a chicken shit way of apologizing by putting your words on a sign and not doing it on video or on Facebook or on YouTube. Well, Facebook is kind of chicken shit too. But he should have gotten up front before his congregation and apologized. Maybe he's going to give a sermon today to say that he was wrong. Mm-hmm. I kind of think he probably won't, but maybe he will. Maybe he'll be brave. Instead of alluding to it and making up some reason why he's not at fault, which I think is what's going to happen.
There is a world where he went home, right? And his daughter looked at him and said, Dad.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh my, wow, what if my daughter incited the lust in it? Well, and I'm sorry, okay, even though we have sort of talked about it, let's dive into this a little bit more, right? Because I don't understand the logic, other than a man's a man and therefore cannot be held accountable for his sexual impulses, right? I'd love to see this guy's porn collection, number one. No, I wouldn't, because I'm sure it's gross. But, okay, so a woman deserves to be sexually assaulted because she's incited the lust in a man by wearing shorts. But what do you do with a man who's turned on by long hair? Right? What if his daughter is the most modestly dressed woman in the world, but has gorgeous strawberry blonde hair, and that incites some guy's lust, right?
Right.
Not that my things are coming out here, but And so Pastor Looney Tunes, where does it stop? Is it just shorts?
Right.
It's just shorts.
How long does a skirt have to be? How long does a dress have to be? Does it have to cover all of your arms? I mean, do you have to cover all of your hair, like you said? Do you have to wear flat shoes? Where does it start? Where does it stop?
Well, I'll tell you where it starts and where it stops, and that's with a burqa, right?
Yeah,
except then you can still see the shape of the person. So what if you're too thick and you incite somebody's lust, or too thin and willowy and you incite somebody's lust, right? There is just no fucking way. It's hard to be sexy, I think, is the takeaway here.
Women should not leave the house, I guess, is the takeaway.
Yeah, I think that solves all of society's problems for sure. Right?
Yeah.
It was so much better when women didn't leave the house, right? So I think that hopefully he can be redeemed and will learn a lesson through great humiliation.
Hopefully.
And let's see what he does today.
Yeah. I'm going to give his apology a 1.5.
I think you technically have to, because he did express regret. There's also the aspect of it was, even though it's not him, right? He didn't say it himself to anybody in person, but it is kind of public. And so, but no, I'm really stretching here to like, could it be a 2? He's a man. He didn't know what he was saying.
Oh my God,
it's a 10, really, if you think about it, because he's a man.
It's a miracle.
Yeah.
It's a 10.
You have to give it a 1.5. I get to give it a big fat 0. I think it's a chicken shit move to put up an apology on a sign. And sure, as of this recording, we do not know if he has publicly apologized from behind the pulpit, right? But I can tell you, he won't be going to any rape crisis counseling centers to learn and grow and observe, right? He'll be there handing out dresses. Listen, this would have helped you.
Yeah.
This would have solved your problems. Yeah. Fuck that guy so hard.
That is a gross man. I don't like him.
Well, he likes you because he's sent me an instant message right now.
So, how about who's sorry now or apology expected? Do we have one of those today?
Oh, I do. I have an apology expected from Senator Tom Woods of Oklahoma. I expect that he will be apologizing for calling millions of people across the country filth. And I love this when it's when people, and when I say people, I mean like media pundits, are talking about the Christian right, and they'll say things like, well, millions of people believe this, right? Or, oh, millions of people X, Y, and Z, as if the number or the word millions lends some legitimacy to it. Well, if we're going to have that as a standard, right? Oh, because millions, therefore there's some legitimacy. Well, then millions of people have been harmed by Senator Tom Woods calling them and their loved one, calling them filth. And if you love somebody who's gay, give them a bath, because apparently Senator Tom Woods thinks they're dirty. What about you? Apology expected, or who's sorry now?
An apology expected from PG&E, unrelated to the story that is we have talked about. PG&E just reported a profit for 2023 of $2.4 billion after a series of rate hikes that have massively increased customer bills. That's a 25% increase in profits for the utility company since 2022. And a 13% rate increase went into effect at the beginning of this year, bringing my latest electric bill for a 1,200 square foot condo to $400.
That is how much we pay for electricity in the summer in Austin on a monthly basis, right?
When the AC is on.
Our air conditioner is running 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
How in the world?
Don't use our heat. We have one gas fireplace that we use to heat our house, and it's on mostly in the mornings, but it could be on all day, but it's not on at night. And that's the only thing we run. That's gas. The electric bill is we don't have anything like the refrigerator is our biggest electric thing. And we look carefully at our graphs and charts from the electric company to see
because you're nerds. I know, yeah.
Because to see if our usage went up, and our usage is not significantly increased. What's significantly increased is the cost. So it's these rate increases that have made our bill go up to $400. And I don't expect them to go down much over the year because we're not really using anything particular to the wintertime.
Oh, prices never go down. Prices stay up, and then wages have to go up to accommodate for the prices, right? Which is why one day it's going to be $40 for a dozen eggs.
Oh, yeah. It's $40 for a cup of coffee. That's what's going to happen.
Oh, my God. Listen, we're so fucking old. I spent $9 and something and some change.
On a cup of coffee?
On a coffee, yes. On a quad grande almond milk latte. At warm temperature, please. Right? That's it. Four shots of espresso.
$9?
In a grande size, so medium.
At Starbucks?
Uh-huh.
Damn, that's insane.
Almond milk.
I spent $6.50 for my drink, and I think that's too much.
It is too much.
It is too much.
Yeah. And $9 is too much. Like,
that's a lot.
At Starbucks, you pushing me away, and now I've gone to Red Bull.
Oh, man. I've been getting migraines, and I think it's the Red Bull that's giving me migraines. So I started drinking Red Bulls a couple of weeks ago, and I've had a headache every day. Not since, but just in the last few weeks. So I'm thinking it's maybe the Red Bull. So be careful with that Red Bull.
It's not the Red Bull. The Red Bull, your headaches would have been worse. The Red Bull is making them better.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I better not stop drinking them then.
No, you better not.
All right, everybody. That's it for this week, I think. Thank you for tuning in, as usual. And stay cool, cucumbers. And don't trip potato chips.
And I got nothing, so there we go. Okay, bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Apologies Accepted, the podcast.
You can find links to the articles and the sources in the show notes.
To submit an apology or find out more, visit us at apologiesaccepted.net, where you can also find our merchandise.
We're on Twitter at Apologies Accepted.
And on Instagram at apologies.accepted.
You can support our important work at Patreon.com/Apologies Accepted.
And fuck Facebook.
Bye.
Bye.